Oh my, you got the timer?
Timer's on.
Cool. Good
Morning,
afternoon.
Vietnam.
You have to look at the time. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Tech Guy, Some Guy podcast. My name is Carlos, alongside with
Rod
and
Omar.
And we're just a bunch of tech guys who talk tech news, pop culture with random rants in between. Today, hold on, I got to pull up the notes for me to figure it out. I did see it earlier. Rod, what do you want to talk about with today? Because I know we have some tech news and we definitely have some movie news. I know the big. I guess we gotta go through the Facebook thing. Might as well get it out of the way, because that's big.
Omar,
news.
go for it. I know you got a lot to say
All right,
about
so Facebook sucks, right?
Wait, for the record,
I didn't even know. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he
but the funny part is that we've been mentioning about the whole data breach and the whole security thing. We've been talking about this for episodes.
bound to happen. Bound,
Right?
bound
Well,
to
yeah,
get caught
we
anyway.
knew. I mean, we didn't know they were doing it to us.
Or at
We
least
didn't
at
know.
this level.
We didn't know Facebook was bending us over and just sticking it raw without lube or anything. We expect them to give us a reach around or some kind of like
They
notification.
didn't, they didn't even let us know. They didn't even take us out to dinner.
I know, for real, goddamn shame.
You know, but
Like a crying game all over again.
right. So basically, Facebook got caught with their, hand in their pants that they have
Or they're
been
digging our asses more.
pretty much. They've been logging. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, they basically have been logging our calls, and they've been logging our
Messages
text messages.
and
I
our
know
dick
for-
pics.
And I
So
know for Android heavily, like
Yeah, heavily on Android.
this is why I
what they
hate
said.
Messenger. I always hated Messenger.
And
It was
and
really-
because
yeah.
they logged all that information, obviously it's basically data mining, and they've been using that as part of their revenue creating things. So basically,
not just creating thing, but selling their ad, particularly the knowledge for the
exactly.
ad,
So
which is
remember-
what
it's a
gets
cheat sheet. It's
yeah.
a cookie cheat sheet for
what to sell me.
demos for ads.
And I know that we've talked about this, and I know a lot of other people have talked about this. You know, all those times where you make a joke of, "Wow, I was talking about getting a new bedroom set with my aunt, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm getting
You're gonna
bedroom
bedroom with your aunts?
I don't know.
That's
I
kind of
just,
weird,
I
bro.
just came up with something random, and all of a sudden, you start seeing advertisements about getting bedroom
There it
sets
is.
and bed covers and sheets, and you're like, "How the hell did they know?"
Yeah.
Well, now we all know
The
how.
cookies is
Yeah.
checking everything.
They were checking everything, and it's insane, and it's actually causing financial damage.
Yeah,
So
and the other thing we get to add is that it doesn't have to be somebody like you don't even have to be using some of the programs or some of the monitoring systems that they're using. You can be friends with somebody who has that, and they can still track you, which is like some scary shit. Because I know if you sign that waiver, you're signing away your waiver, but that doesn't mean like that. I want my friend to be, put up with the
Subject
same
to
BS.
that, yeah.
Exactly,
That's foul. But
it is foul.
not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, think of how many people use Facebook and the data. I mean, even if you believe or don't believe what's the movie The Social Network, to a degree, I'm like,
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
yeah, you have to also think about it. Everybody's always defending, Zuckerberg is a good guy. I'm like, look, not one person in the movie defended him, and not one person in real life defended him. At some point, your character speaks louder than what you are telling people to defend you for.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know, like-
Yep.
it got to the point where now it's gotten to be uncool to be on Facebook, which I think has been going around forever. But this week specifically, the amount, because in the end, remember, Facebook is now a public entity, and in the past week, I think it lost $100 billion in value.
Good.
Which means now people advertisers are starting to jump ship. And because it is a public thing, now basically Zuckerberg's job is on the line.
Not
'Cause
just
now he has
not,
to
not
do it
just
direct.
his job,
Even though
but
Zuckerberg,
now,
I think, owns like 51%, right? Something like that.
yeah,
You should kind of get booted at this
he's
point.
still there. He is a majority shareholder in his own company.
But Congress has called him up to speak at a formal hearing, so that's going to be
Yeah.
fun. That's going to be an interesting one.
I mean, I don't. If you saw his interview, he is legitimately. You could tell his fears in his eyes. Like, he's like, "Holy shit!" You could tell he never expected it, but at the same time, you are the person who's always talking about that you are on top of your shit. That this is your baby. This is, the whole premise of your career, even the movie, which is loosely based on what you did to create Facebook, has been that this is your baby. This has been your hands on. So now the only people you can really look to is like, hey, Zuck, what the fuck happened here? What did you do, or what didn't you do to fix this or to keep this from happening? So that's gonna be interesting to see how he plays out in his defense of what he did or why he did it, or
Yeah, and mind you, this is just something that's happened and came out within the past, I think, 4 days. So
Yeah.
we don't know exactly how this is gonna end. So it's literally right in the middle of it.
And this is gonna affect because the big thing is that Facebook is considered by the younger generation if you're on Facebook, you're owed. But the thing that Facebook was kind of gaining traction on was the ads, where
Yeah,
it was taking
man.
ads away from YouTube,
Yep.
and YouTube has its own issues with its content creators that they need to
Oh,
police.
you know what? The funny part, you mentioning that, it's kind of funny that we never mentioned that YouTube thing, because
Oh
YouTube,
yeah, I never did bring it up.
we
Yeah.
never did bring
I
it up.
forget
It's
too.
crazy.
We'll-
YouTube has a bunch of videos. Go watch them.
Yeah, just
We'll
search,
skip it.
just
We'll-
search YouTube
we'll
for
go, yeah.
Adpocalypse.
I mean, that one.
Yeah.
Which one? The recent one?
You can start from the beginning and work your way up, because
There
it's
were
been
several,
crazy.
But I mean, the thing is that now that was where Facebook was heading, where like they were becoming the one-stop shop where people can post their video. Because honestly, what was happening before, because I work with a lot of clients who do like social media marketing, and they would post a video on Facebook and they want to link it through or post a video on YouTube, want to link it through Facebook. Facebook will recommend that if you wanted more traction to just link it on their page.
Yep. Just upload
So they-
it separately.
Exactly. So then you'd have to manage two different pages instead of linking. And if you linked it, sometimes they didn't always go to the top of your feed.
Right.
So that was Facebook's way of saying, hey, just put your video, put all your marketing, put all your advertising onto Facebook. Forget YouTube.
And on top of that, we also got to remember the other funny thing about it is that all the younger crowds who are saying that Facebook is uncool, they're like, well, I'm going to Instagram. It's like, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to a certain extent, but Instagram, it seems to be what's taking over Snapchat, and
Yeah.
Snapchat's losing
Oh, Snapchat is on
ad.
its way out.
Yeah, but it's
Snapchat
losing
is
ad
on its
revenues
Yeah.
to
Yeah, those idiots are
Instagram. Right now,
doing it to
Instagram is where
themselves.
all the advertising is
Right.
going.
Yep.
See, and that's the thing that people tend to forget. People tend to forget that listen, Instagram is owned by Facebook. Instagram is has the same data collection thing just like Facebook does.
And
so
WhatsApp.
Yeah.
and WhatsApp as well. If you're using WhatsApp, same
Couple-
thing. So if you're in that field, it's like listen, you're just because you're dumping Facebook, you gotta dump Instagram too. Let's be real about it.
I mean,
So,
I think for the saving grace for Instagram and WhatsApp, they should distance themselves as far as they can
yes,
from Facebook and be like, look, we might be owned by them, but they run their own shit.
Yep.
We run our
Yep.
own shit.
And they
We
do.
are
Actually,
not the same
exactly,
thing.
and that's the thing. Instagram does
They
run its own
need-
ship. They have
yeah.
its own
They're
separate
still
thing.
small. What, like the last time I checked, they were probably like 14, maybe 14 to 20 employees. Right?
Yeah. It's still very,
Still
very small. So
and they should keep it that way because
Yeah.
then there's less
avoid-
possibility of people like
Avoid shit like with Facebook.
for
Yeah,
like
'cause that's
Facebook
insane
and
right
like
now.
more less people, less hands in the pot, less
Yeah.
more you can track this stuff. So that's what Instagram needs to do. They need to distance themselves as far away
they're like, I don't
It's
know him.
possible.
I don't know who they're talking about.
Yeah.
Facebook, what's that?
because they're
Like,
gonna
they
take
need
a
to
hit.
do that.
And then if I mean, even though that's pointing to that direction, if all they allowed all these ads from like the Russia election thing, and now from this Cambridge Analytica thing, they might be forced by the FCC or the SEC to say, you know what, you guys can't post ads, or you guys. This isn't for you because you clearly can't protect your customers' data
Yeah.
above anything else.
And it's funny, the thing that you mentioned, the thing that we're pretty much talking about is our data as people, whether
Right.
we're content creators, consumers, whatever. It's still our data, whether we're using it or not. These are still this is still more or less the wild west.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
these are unprecedented times. So the government don't know what the fuck to do to actually protect our data.
Yeah,
they just know that something needs to be done.
Right, and
Yeah.
and the other thing is that for the people who, let's say, content creators, like we know what we're getting ourselves into when we are using Facebook and Instagram, because we know our data is going to be shared, our data is going to be saved, and all that other stuff. We are aware of that situation.
Yep.
But for the lay human or
should
for
be.
the average person, yeah, they should know. And for the average person who doesn't, it's like, listen, you guys need to become more aware. We know that, yes, my phone's going to be tracked as to, where I'm going and stuff like that, or what I'm talking about when it comes to what I want to buy and stuff like that. It does it. I know this. So for people to finally come on and be shocked, or maybe for a lot of the grandmas who use their phones and stuff like that, they're like, what do you mean my stuff is being collected?
But I mean, it's also not just the fact that it's being collected. Because being collected would be one thing to like, it's you're creating your digital fingerprint, so they're collecting your digital fingerprint in this
Right.
sense.
Yeah, that's
But
kind of
that's not what's ultimately at stake for what happened with Facebook. Because what happens is that they use that digital fingerprint against you to manipulate your decision making
and monetize
and monetize
Yeah.
monetize you and your
off
data.
your data. So like they basically manipulated you in a certain way to see like if you position this ad to him or this topic to this person in this way, they won't be receptive. But if you do it this way, they might actually read the article and go along with what you believe.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing. It's not so much just collecting data, but they use it to manipulate you because they can read you like a book and they know how to make, because you see all these movies where like somehow the villain knows that the hero is gonna make this left turn instead of right, because he knows he's forcing them to do that.
Right.
In a sense, this is what they did. This data was collected so they can make you turn left instead of right, because they know exactly what to say or what to show you
Right.
in order to make you turn right instead of
Exactly.
left.
It's really putting a spotlight onto specific advertisements who want a specific type of client to know that they exist. And that's really what they've been doing it for. That's why if you're shopping for a kitchen set, bedroom set, toys, video games, you're going to see advertisements for that, because guess what? Your phone's been collecting that data. So if you're okay with that, be aware of that. If you're not okay with that, also be aware of that as well. Don't be surprised like Facebook surprised a vast majority of people this past week. So, I mean, we're going to keep in touch with it. We're definitely going to see what happens, because, damn, Zuckerberg is going up to Capitol Hill. So that's going to be a very interesting one. Stay tuned, you know? Exactly.
So sell your stocks down, people.
Oh, man. What's this? Google drops Chrome OS. Like,
Yes. All right. So today was Apple's at the day of recording this is Apple's quote unquote education event. They didn't really. I kind of see what they did, but it's still Apple-y, so it's like really.
it's still Apple-y?
Yeah.
That's actually after this. So yesterday, Google was like, okay, let's diversify our stranglehold, because a lot of people don't know. It's literally like, Windows has their software, but Chromebooks runs the education sector. If not here, definitely across
Right.
the globe, because they're inexpensive. You can do everything cloud-based.
Good bang for the
it's
buck,
perfect.
right.
So they're like, all right, well, let's do something different. Let's make a Chrome tablet.
Okay.
So this is first. So usually, the Android. So Acer Chromebook Tab 10. It's a 9.7-inch tablet. $329 comes in. Comes out in April. It's running, to run Android apps. You got dual speakers, 9-hour battery life, all this good
Nice.
stuff.
Okay.
And different things. So it's an interesting move. I'm not sure if I'm just curious about how Chrome OS will work with the tablet, because if a tablet you can do certain things, but then when if you got to add a keyboard, then
Yeah, then
just
you
buy Chromebook.
Exactly. It's kind of the same thing. I think it's a smart move, honestly, just because I think a tablet for education purposes might be the proper direction that kids are going to be interested in going to.
Yeah.
You kinda get what I'm saying?
Trick them into
Exactly.
learning. Yeah.
I don't think it's like it's the better way to go.
No.
I think it's the better way to go for kids to stay interested.
It's food and the medicine.
Exactly.
I mean, medicine and food.
Yeah, exactly. So is it a good thing? I really think so. And like you said, Google has that stranglehold, man. So they've been playing that game correctly, and they're still going strong. You know what I mean?
I love
So-
it. I'm a Chromebook champion, Chrome OS champion. I mean, it's because for most people, what are you gonna do?
Right.
They're not doing video editing. That's what for people's parents, like Chromebook.
Remember what I told
Especially-
you?
yeah.
At my household, Chromebooks is all we have. We don't have a Windows-based system at the house. And the reason why is because at the house, we don't need it.
Yeah.
At the house, there's no point for us to have, a fully running computer system
Yeah.
with everything. We don't need that.
Yeah.
But at the house, what is it that my family looks for? My family checks their email. My family checks YouTube. My family checks the news on Yahoo and stuff like that.
That's it.
And that's it. So why are they gonna need this crazy computer system for that? They don't.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And because of that, it's like that's why my family's a Chromebook. Not because I'm trying to be the fanciest mansions. I don't have the $1,000 one. I just have the regular, basically. Which one is it? I think it's the Google. one.
Samsung.
It's the Samsung one, I have.
Samsung Chromebook 2.
Right. And that's all I really need.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that I could live with that. So for them to go into the educational route, I think it's probably a very smart move. Let's hope it pays off, because I think Google's smart enough to say, listen, we did it. We know that there's gonna be some computer systems or some school systems that have our laptops, Google Books, or Chromebooks along with the tablet. I'm pretty sure they figured out a way to integrate them both together.
No, I mean,
I'm
it's
pretty
the same
sure
thing.
they did.
It's just in different form factor.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
It's really
So-
not change the thing.
It should be fun.
Got any thoughts over there? You quiet?
He's like, hell
Well,
no.
I mean, Apple had that whole education thing too, and then what they found out is a lot
Yeah,
of
went out
a lot of the well,
No,
a lot of the websites and programs that they were using for the education couldn't convert to Unix or the OS system.
Mm-hmm.
Chrome might find out the same thing because they're all Windows based,
All
so they might not be able to.
Why not?
They
Chrome
might
is-
because remember,
Ain't Chrome
Google
Unix-based
made,
too?
Apple made. No. The Chrome OS is very different than the Windows based OS.
Okay.
It uses an open source, so it's completely different. Like you need something a medium in between medium to actually be able to read the technology. So where Apple kind of failed in California because they did the biggest controversy at that state was that they didn't foresee that certain programs weren't working. So then it was like a moot point to have all these computers there or laptops. So the thing is that hopefully Chrome foresees this problem and some way fixes it or is already working on it. So when they go into these school systems, the programs can go onto these websites and can work properly without any issues.
Well, the thing is, they're already in the school system.
No, so I know, but so
And
was
then-
Apple, and then they.
No. I know, but now you have the newer versions of Chrome that run and that you have access to the Google Play Store.
Well,
So
good then.
you have like you know what, Drive is cool, but today we're using Word, and it's the App Store. You can, and it's all on Chrome.
Now here's the
That's
question.
going to be an advantage to them that the Apple didn't have.
That's and that's the thing. Google Chrome specifically has been slowly taking over the education market, but I think they've been paying attention with that, and they've been adjusting their applications to fit the need.
Because they have like a teacher will have something. They'll have like an app. I forget the app. It's
Do you
like
remember that?
It's an
first-
app that does that where you could.
Remember that seminar we went to the
Yeah,
Google
yeah,
Chrome?
yeah.
Where they actually broke it down like a teacher can have admin controls over the laptops of her students, and she could be like, "This is the only app you're going to be running."
Yep.
Like, they have full access control to that if in that educational setting.
Yep.
So
Homework would be posted here, and I forget the name of the app, but
me too. It was
yeah,
crazy.
but
though.
it's like, okay, I
Yeah,
see
it's
why
there.
I run.
Now the question is it going to be caught on by the students, by the kids? I think it will. You know what I mean? Obviously, any kid's going to be happy that they're going to be getting a tablet for free, and then they're going to want to dig into it and see if they can work their way around it and use it for everything else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So expect to see that. I'm fine with that. I'm perfectly fine with that. I just want to see, because the next thing we got to talk about anyway is about Apple. Apple dropped a cheaper iPad for the same reason, right? Or
Ish.
what? What is their version of cheaper iPad?
Yeah.
First, just go straight to the number
So
first.
this is what they did. All right. So you want the numbers?
Yeah. What's the price? Because
All right.
you just said $330 for the Google one.
So it refreshed the 9.7 inch regular iPad that it came out with last
Same
year.
size as the Google one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what they did. So for students, it's $300.
Okay.
For consumers, it's $330, and then $459 for the LTE model. But then they charge students $89 for the pencil, and then $99 for everyone else.
See, that's where you get stupid
And
again.
that's how I was like, ish, because it's like all they did was because they posted it. They went to Chicago. They had media fly up to Chicago for this. I'm like, wow, what a waste of time.
For real.
And they announced a new iPad. I mean, they have some new software features that are actually pretty cool, like some AR stuff. But it's like,
AR-15 stuff?
You're stupid. Oh, you're so stupid.
but it's essentially a refreshed iPad with pencil support and student pricing.
But I mean, the pencil doesn't work great anyway, so how the fuck are they still on that? And I'm sure there's not a third party that's already made it an Apple pencil.
Yes, dude.
The couple of them.
There's a couple
Logitech
of-
has one, 53. I forget the name of it.
There's a couple of them. I mean, the
53.
funny part is this: is that when it comes to third parties, you can actually look for third party accessories for basically Apple products in general,
Yeah.
and there's a whole slew of them.
Yeah.
So, right now, I guarantee. When did they announce that? Today?
Today.
Okay, so I guarantee you.
Logitech already announced called the Crayon.
Thank you. 5 minutes after that thing was over,
I mean,
all the other guys were like, "Oh, good, $89. Now I know my price point is gonna be 50."
they work together with it. So
You know what I
we're, like,
mean?
Complete, but I get you though. Yeah. So
89.
this is, yeah. So as far as specs, A10 processor, Touch ID, HD FaceTime camera, 10-hour battery life, 8-megapixel camera, and LTE option.
Man,
I mean, it's the same iPad.
just an iPad.
Same iPad from last year. They just added pencil support. And
yeah, pretty much.
added, student pricing. I'm like, really?
That's it.
That's
Is
it.
that education of it?
That's it. It's basically another.
There's some other software things, but as far as the hardware, I'm like,
Yeah, there's no point. Okay, keep it moving, guys. I'm sorry. Like that's why Chrome is actually taking over the education market because of stuff like that, where people are starting to realize, like, yo, Apple, you basically selling us the same product for a higher price, but you wanted to try to give us a discount for a certain group of people just because that, and they call it an educational thing. It sounds stupid. It really does sound
At
stupid.
least with the Acer thing, the stylus is in the tab.
Yeah.
So and it's free. So
It's
it
really.
comes with it.
Wait, Omar, it's not just me, right? It's really sounding dumb. Like it's really starting to become blatant.
Yeah,
like,
I've been saying they've been losing the edge for a long time.
This was a dumb announcement. I
yeah.
mean,
Sorry,
They
Apple.
could have announced that shit in September with the phones and everything else.
that could have been impressive.
You know what's funny? I think.
That could have been impressive.
You know what? Kind of looking back at it now, I think I'm starting I'm starting to see that in the near future, most likely, we're not gonna get invited to any Apple events.
I already don't get
I mean,
invited.
why
You're
would
getting?
I mean, I already don't. I
Dude,
mean,
but they don't
some of
invite
Sorry.
people who critically.
To criticize the stuff.
We'll see.
Yeah,
Or give them an
they
honest
invite
opinion.
fanboys to be like, "Oh my God, Apple, I'm gonna ride your dick all day long."
Yo, there's fanboys, man.
I
Okay.
mean, people will high.
That's why they got rid of Woz. Woz wasn't a big fanboy either. He's like, "You're going in the wrong direction." All right,
Woz was giving giving
Deuces,
blunt
dude.
opinions from his stuff from the get.
deuces, and they got rid of him.
For
They
the
never go
record-
with people who go against the opinion or try to make the product better.
Right, for
if
those
it's
who
not
don't-
within the realm of what they're thinking.
Right, for those who don't know who we're talking about, we're talking about Steve Wozniak, who is actually the co-founder of Apple,
Yep.
and he was always known for being like, he was always pushing
the
Steve
voice
Jobs.
of reason.
Yeah, he was the voice of reason
Yeah.
to Steve Jobs,
Yeah.
and Steve Jobs hated that.
He hated reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean reason? Like it just was what that
He was
was.
portrayed by Seth Rogen and Michael Fassbender, which is the movie's actually.
I actually saw that.
really
one.
good.
Yeah, did
But
you see
you
that?
guys
Bert?
didn't like the other one with what's his name?
Ashton Kutcher?
I know.
Yeah.
about
I saw
watching
that one too.
I didn't see that
It
one.
was all right.
It
I didn't
didn't look
see it.
bad, but just like if I have to pick the two, like
I mean,
oh,
yeah.
No, you know what
the
the-
only thing was that he actually looked better. He looked closer to
Yes.
to
he did.
Steve Jobs than Fassbender.
Yes.
But Fassbender did a better performance.
Yeah.
than-
The,
so
pro-
it's
the
like-
problem that I had with Ashton Kutcher and
he was dating Demi Moore.
no, he was married to Demi Moore, but that wasn't the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in that specific role highlights how much Ashton Kutcher can only play Ashton Kutcher as Steve Jobs. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like, dude, it really was. It really was like, oh man, I see you trying, but no,
But I don't see you trying.
right? And then Michael Fassbender is like Michael Fassbender. You know what I mean?
Fast.
So yeah. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about a minute ago?
We're talking about the next thing is Foxconn. Apple's kind of a lover, and
Yeah, Foxconn's the factory in China or Japan or something, right?
Yeah, they want to,
Wait, so they directly bought out these guys?
yeah,
All right, so
866 million.
now if you know, they're all wireless, right? They all do wireless.
Belkin, Linksys, and Wemo. Yep.
They don't do-
Belkin does.
But Vulcan does a various things,
Yeah.
but they also have
Yeah, you-
their wireless.
Yeah, you want to
department.
look. For my opinion, okay. before
Nobody
we
asked your
even-
opinion, but go ahead.
You stupid. If you look at what Foxconn bought, they bought Belkin, Linksys, and Wemo. If you look at the similarity between all three, it's a wireless company.
Wireless.
They all have
systems.
wireless systems. So
The biggest one being Linksys, which is used in just about every networking shop.
yeah,
Next to now, Cisco is the other company that's big,
Yep.
but between those two, those are the most trusted brands and enterprise
And
systems.
Enterprise, yeah.
Enterprise meaning businesses or small businesses, not like personal stuff. Even though a lot of people have Linksys, like I have a Linksys system at home. So now where this becomes kind of a thing and an issue is because of all the cyber terrorism recently, the U.S. government is going to have to kind of reevaluate using these systems on any government servers because of the fact that it could be encoded with BIOS malware that you can't detect until it's activated,
Still too late, yeah. But 866 million, it
which
still
is
has-
pretty cheap,
Still has to get approved.
it is pretty cheap if you look at it.
right? I mean, that's pretty cheap for 3 companies.
I think they might be one company, honestly. Like maybe a parent company owns all 3 of them. I think.
Okay. But it's still at that price to sell
But no,
two
no.
big names. Because, I mean, Vulcan and Linksys are probably the bigger names to worry about.
Wemo, somebody, one of those two owns Wemo, if I'm correct.
But at that price point, I mean, they got a good deal, I guess.
I guess so.
I
I-
Okay,
guess,
no, this is what it is.
What is it? Tell us.
Foxconn purchased Belkin. And
Belkin.
Belkin owns Linksys and Wemo.
okay, that's
Okay.
What I thought. That's the only thing I thought. So.
That's what it was.
All right. So, I mean, that's maybe because Foxconn is one of the, if not the biggest, kind of like assembly line production companies out there. They can definitely put stuff together for cheaper. Like I said, they're in talks to build the next series or next generation of Red cameras that will drop the price from 40 grand to about 10 grand for each camera
Yeah.
because of how well the assembly system that they have works and how efficient it is.
Oh, and
So maybe that means just cheaper wireless routers, but at the same time, again, there might be some people
Oh.
who think of be careful.
Exactly.
Buy American or buy something.
And this is the other thing is like it's exactly what you said is the purchase is still subject to approval from the U.S. Committee on Foreign Investment.
exactly.
So
'cause that's,
so nothing's set in stone yet.
I mean, I say he's gonna go because even though the president is talking about this, what's it called, the tariffs on China, we need to borrow like $300 billion, and the only people who are actually gonna give us that kind of money is China.
Yeah,
So somebody's scratching somebody's back, and somebody's gonna get fucked over again.
yeah, it's gonna be
Just so y'all know.
it's gonna be
That's it.
interesting what's gonna happen in the near future with that. So definitely stay tuned with that. Foxconn. This is actually Foxconn since they always were behind the scenes of the big manufacturing companies. Now
Their name, yeah.
think about it. This is the first time they're saying, "Yo,
Dude, I'm about to.
yo, forget making it. Let me step up to the
Are
front."
they like the Chinese market so you can invest on them? Are they an open traded company?
Yeah,
Because they are. I'm about to fucking drop some money on these.
Yeah, because if you
This
think
might
about
be a
it,
good time to get them cheap because they're about to just move up.
now business wise, you got to think of this move for Foxconn. This is like a company that only focused on staying behind the scenes and just being a manufacturer.
building stuff.
Now they're going up to the front and saying, "Yo, you're gonna
But
remember our name."
It's also because like anybody, their main client for the longest time was Apple, and as anybody can
Notoriously
see,
Apple.
Apple is they're not.
Suicide
Diversification is the best portfolio to have of anything.
Right.
So holding on to Apple is not your only. You should be changing. They're doing something with red cameras, which is a whole different market from them.
The whole
Bam.
red camera thing.
Yeah.
On a side note, as a photographer,
Yeah.
that interests the hell
You
out
know,
of me.
so they're doing that now. They're doing the bulk and link system. Who knows what they're gonna do down the road?
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, so this is just for them. They're gonna grow fast, and if they're an openly traded company where you can buy stocks in, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, I remember when Red when Red first started coming into the forefront and people started recognizing the name. I remember one of the most fascinating things that I saw when it comes to photography was they did a fashion shoot using a Red Epic. This is how long
Yeah.
ago it was. And what they did is they just filmed it. And then all they did was pause it and just take a frame. And
Yeah.
boom, that's the picture. And it was amazing.
In Red, you can take each individual file, and if you do it as a DNX, you can just take it as a single individual.
Yep. It was insane.
That's how like MKBHD and Teal and Johnson, they just do that. That's their thumbnail.
Yeah, it's insane.
Like, why not?
It really is insane. So yeah, so that's that. I guess now the interesting pop stuff down.
Yeah, it's a lot.
All right,
Uh,
let's talk about
bad,
it. Deadpool trailer 2.
I love
Which
it.
one is that one?
That's the one
The
where
recent
they.
one?
That's the story
A
trailer.
little
basically.
more in the story.
Yeah, it looks like
Well, wait.
Deadpool and his
see it?
girl.
I've seen so many of them. I don't know which is which anymore.
This is the one where Deadpool and his girl basically figure
oh,
out.
they
that
have sex.
Kind
She
of.
comes do me.
Yes, that
Yeah,
one.
okay, that's
And-
anyway.
okay, I wasn't
said,
gonna.
yeah, that's the
For the
rest
record, I wasn't gonna say that.
I was gonna say, yeah, anything
That's
about that.
No, that's the one where they basically say they want to adopt a child, pretty
Okay,
much.
Yeah.
And the child turns out to be like the harbinger of the apocalypse.
is
That's
is
why
that
Cable
also
comes
where
back.
he mentions he's putting together a team called X Force?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this
Like
is
that trailer.
so
Yeah.
because of that, I'm like, okay, so Deadpool 2 is basically an origin story for X Force.
Yeah,
I
You know what I
guess
mean?
you
of
could
course
say
it
so.
was. I knew
Um,
that was coming because they got a backdoored in.
they accidentally named
They name names.
Terry Cruz's character too.
Bedlam.
Mhm.
Bedlam. Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Bedlam, which will be. But did you see the one in the back with the mask, like this? There was
They, if you look online, they have all the names of X Force.
Did they name who the guy in the back is with the mask on his face? Because I don't
They
think
probably
they did.
I don't remember.
Probably the
Not in
mask.
the trailer.
So far, they
But
haven't
there.
named him. Well, from what I've seen, they haven't named him yet. But it's rumors and speculation that it's Chamber. If it's Chamber, I'm losing my damn mind.
I don't know.
No, Chamber is this one character from this old comic book called Generation X. That for me was one of my favorite characters just because how crazy he looked. He basically had psionic powers and he blew his. He literally it exploded off of his chest and it blew his face off,
Yeah,
half his
he
face
had that
off, and,
man.
right? And he just had psionic energy just coming out of him. But you really can't put that in a kids movie, and so it
I don't
looks,
think Deadpool is like one of the few R-rated like comic book movies.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
mean,
kids allowed.
if you want to talk
shit.
about R-rated comic book movies,
Logan was one.
Logan,
Deadpool was the other
Deadpool.
one.
Nah, it's Zeitgeist starring Burst Bubble, dude.
Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
You
who's the
stole
guy
my
from that.
soul, bro.
But
That's okay.
It's not even-
Shatterstar's in there.
I know I saw that. It was
Louis,
interesting.
Louis Tan is playing.
Wait, there was what are the other R ones? There was a couple.
Most of them aren't R. A lot of
No.
the Marvel Universe
but
is
there were a couple.
PG-13,
No,
so they
but
can
there
get a lot of those
but
shitheads
through
in
comic
there,
book
watch the
history,
movies.
I think there was a
So
couple.
they can talk during the movies.
You know what's funny? Spawn was not an R movie.
Spawn?
Yeah, that was not an R-rated movie. I'm trying to remember.
Image.
No, I'm talking about the movie. That was not an R-rated movie. It was a PG-13.
Surprise.
Took a lot out.
They did take a lot
Took
out.
a lot
They took a
out.
lot
That's
out of
why
that.
it was.
There was another. Was Blade R? I think Blade was R. Matter of fact, Blade was R.
There you go. He knows.
Blade was R because they had so much blood in that it was ridiculous. He was cutting people in half.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, he did cut people in half.
Most of the MCU is gonna be PG-13.
They're all PG-13. They're all PG-13.
Even all the X-Men, with the exception of Logan. But then
Mm-hmm.
Logan is kind of that. It's technically not part of the X-Men universe. It's part of its own little
Yeah.
thing. So,
And
And that's why it's good.
and
Yeah.
that's why it's good.
yeah.
Correct.
So yeah. If you look at R-rated comic book movies, there's very few, and I think there's one missing. You know what's funny? One
Swamp
of my
Thing?
one of my I don't talk about this movie too much because it's so quirky and it is a comic book movie and it's really good.
Okay, what's it called?
Has anybody in here seen Tank Girl?
Never
Tank
saw it.
Girl.
No,
Oh
never
yeah, I
saw
have
it.
seen it.
No, of
Remember
it
that?
never saw
Have
it.
seen
You
it.
need to see it. It's good. I'm sorry.
It's just as good as Super Mario Brothers.
No. Wow. You know what? For some, okay. I don't know if you guys.
Wasn't it around the same time? It came out around the same time.
I think so.
They were pretty close.
Yeah, they were pretty close,
around there,
right?
somewhere in the really early
Actually,
90s.
Tank Girl, I like Tank Girl better though, for sure.
I love Tank Girl. Tank Girl, I thought was a good. It was a good combination of.
Yeah, it's
keeping
it was a quirky movie.
It was definitely
very
quirky, you know, but it's good. It
I liked
really was good.
Who was the actress on that?
Oh. Come on, you know-
she's an act.
Ice-T was the kangaroo.
She literally, yeah.
Was she the one on
She's
American?
been around.
She made
man.
the transition there.
Natural
from
Born Killers, though?
musician
No.
to actress.
Yes.
Who was it?
For the life of me.
That's,
You know what? Wiki.
Nelly Furtado? No,
No, it was not Nelly Furtado. Nelly Furtado.
Oh,
Damn, that was just left field. You just busted out, man.
What was it? Come on,
oh,
hurry.
Lori Petty.
Thank you,
Oh,
Lori
Lori
Petty.
Petty, okay.
She was around. She's done a lot of movies too.
Oh, actually, Spawn was R.
Yeah, he just.
How the hell was Spawn R?
Spawn was
I
up.
guess that
I
helps.
told you. I was wondering because that shit was very dark and very.
yeah,
Because
the
remember,
scenes,
even
I
the
guess.
scene when he dies, it's a very graphic scene when they kill him.
I can't.
Kind of
Really? I'm kind of surprised.
I mean, again, you thinking of the comic book one is like Blade 2 is R.
Yeah, probably that. Maybe I'm thinking. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was just a very weird, quirky. If you haven't seen it, just do me a favor.
All the
YouTube
Blades
it.
are R actually.
What about Watchmen? Watchmen was alright.
Watchmen was R as hell.
Constantine was R. Since
Yo,
Oh,
the
'cause
80s.
because the blue
wait,
penis?
Watchmen was R as hell, dude.
300 was R.
It was the penis.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
the.
V
It
for
was
Vendetta, Wanted. Why was Wanted R? I guess
the headshots.
we
It was-
know
it was all-
Punisher Warzone was definitely R.
Oh.
Anything Punisher should've
Wait,
been
Punisher
R, bro.
Warzone. That's one of those comic book movies where you really don't want to admit it's just a very good, entertaining one. It's
It
not a
is.
great
That's-
one.
Yeah.
I think it's the best one of the series.
It
Dude,
is,
dude,
and Watchmen was R.
Omar,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
probably
yeah.
loved it. He punched the guy right through his face,
Yeah,
man.
bro, it was good. That's how you're supposed to do it. He put his hip into it. Follow
put his
through.
hip into
Is
it.
that what it
Follow
was?
through.
Is that what it
You
was?
follow through, bro. That's what you need to do to
He
get it
put his
right.
hip into it.
Kick ass, both of the kick ass.
Yeah, Kick-Ass was good.
Why was Kingsman?
The church scene.
Oh, yeah.
That church was a good
The
scene.
church scene. The church scene alone is like, this is an R movie. That's it. You know what I mean?
Why was BVS Ultimate? Why was Ultimate Edition rated R?
Well, probably they showed
Probably
a lot
curse
of
word or
violence
two.
or something.
I mean, what more?
Nothing that crazy. But yeah, I mean,
So moving on to the world.
Yeah,
yeah. So Deadpool. Well, damn, we really just went off on a tangent just because of that. Yeah. So Deadpool 2's coming out. I'm interested in it. I want to see how far they're gonna go with it. But there's a whole lot of other R-rated movies, R-rated superhero movies that you can see and you probably will enjoy. Don't expect these to be Oscar-worthy things. They're just gonna be just really good. Tank Girl for me is one of them.
All right.
Sorry.
So Captain Marvel brings back Coulson and who else?
I'm not too Lee Pace.
Ronan.
Ronan the Accuser.
Um.
And
Coulson, like Agent Coulson?
Yeah.
yeah, because Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s.
Now the question of the 90s is
okay.
which 90s? Because when people think of the 90s, I have a tendency to believe that when people think of the 90s, they think of like the early 90s, 90 to 94 kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think that kind of 90s is
I mean,
what people think
they
about.
didn't specify. They're
Right.
actually started production like yesterday.
I mean, if they're gonna be in the '90s, they should feature cameos from like Blank Man and stuff.
Wow.
Yo, Blank
For
Man,
real.
dude.
If
You
they
just
got
busted
the
out
rights
Blank
to it,
Man.
why not? I doubt they do.
I think
they go buy it.
you're stupid. I think honestly, I'm actually excited to see Ronan. I actually liked him. I think like same problem that I have with a lot of Marvel villains is I would have liked to see more of him. You know what I mean?
I wasn't big on.
Ronan was very
I
one-sided.
actually liked him. He made me like Guardians because I'm like, all right, I only could see.
I thought he was a good villain.
No, he was, but I'm like, just as far as like the actual Guardians cast, like them bumbling around, like, all right,
Yeah, you need somebody.
like I was over it quickly. I like what they did with him, but I'm like, oh, he just killed him. Like,
Yeah, that's
like,
the problem
like
that I have with
everybody else. Everybody, oh, he has potential to be good.
'Cause you know what
Damn,
I- 'cause you know-
like what the fuck? Can somebody get a second chance?
Yo, for real, I'm so
Fucking
mad at that
Loki got
fucking.
the only like.
Yeah.
Have you
70
noticed
chances.
that?
They
The
should have kept
only
fucking
villain-
what's his name, Mark B. Jordan
Yeah,
alive for
the
sure.
only villain to come back in any Marvel is Loki.
Really?
Well,
You can't count Thanos because he really hasn't fought anybody yet.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Thanos,
All of them die. All of them die.
Well, what?
Thunderbolt Ross, he was a villain. He was a villain.
I guess he was a villain.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess he
know
was a
doesn't
villain.
count. That's thin as shit.
What about
That was
Fantastic Four?
Huh? Who?
Fantastic Four.
No, Doom died.
Doom died?
Doom died in the new remake, and he died in Rise of the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, but that's part 2, so technically carried on to sequel.
Barely.
But that's Fox,
Wait, that's
and then
very
and
not.
then Marvel even retconned them. They're like, yo, we might just do a new Fantastic Four. Screw this. We're gonna try again. Like they basically did. We're gonna try again. Screw this. You know what I mean? Like
Wasn't Michael B. Jordan in that one too?
yes, he was
Human
Torch, right?
He was
You know,
Human Torch.
you know, Human Torches get reborn into the top slot.
Yeah.
Cat.
Oh yeah, Cat was Human Torch too.
Wait, say that again.
Cat was
Human
Human
Torches
Torch.
get reborn into the top slot.
Yeah.
No.
First one was Cat.
Yeah, first Human Torch was
Chris
Cat,
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Now,
and
no
now,
longer.
yeah.
That's true.
So if you want to make it in Hollywood, pick up the Human Torch role. The next movie you'll be an A-lister. Congratulations.
man.
You played
That's
yourself.
true. That's very true. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think I want to see. I'm happy that they're bringing back Lee Pace because I do like him. I did like him as Ronan. I like the villain Ronan in general. I just
Yeah.
felt that villain was a little too underused in Guardians of the Galaxy because Guardians of the Galaxy had way too many superheroes that were just taking over the camera. Chris Pratt killed it with his character, but he basically outshone damn near everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean that was. I think that was intentional.
It definitely was intentional, but now it's like I want to see more of him, so I'm kind of happy.
But the problem is, if we see him, he'll be a lot less radical. So he might just be, "Hi, I'm Ronan." Like,
You think it'll be
boo.
like? You think it'll be the point where like Ronan turns into like?
Or
Ronan the
before he
Accuser?
turns,
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
yeah,
Probably before he turns into that.
yeah. Well, we'll see.
We'll see what
I'm
happens.
curious to see how they do it because they're talking Kree Skrull world. So I'm like, are we doing Skrulls on Earth?
Yeah, but see, if they do that, they're also gonna have to like.
Answer questions like,
They're gonna. So how come nobody knew that aliens didn't exist until like the Avengers?
yeah,
You get what I'm saying? There's gonna have to be some
yeah.
secret
unless they take it out
wars.
of-
Yeah,
take
they're
it
probably
out
gonna
of
have to do
space.
some Men in Black kind of thing, like nobody saw nothing kind of thing. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, since we're on the topic, talk about Chris Evans.
Yep.
Cat.
Oh, yeah.
After Avengers 4.
I saw that coming. By the way, come on, you didn't
think
see
so?
that? You didn't see that coming?
He been said he was out.
I don't know.
Well, the contract for Chris Evans from going way back to Captain America was like a 9-picture deal or something like that.
No, it was shorter. He re-upped. Well, not shorter, but he re-upped. It
Really?
wasn't. This isn't
Yeah.
that. This isn't that original contract because I think. Actually, is it?
I think it was.
Actually, it is. Yeah, Thor. Because Thor's done. Did he? I have to see because I think some of the characters re-upped for maybe a few more times when they became Marvel Studios.
Yeah,
Probably,
and
maybe.
for the
That makes
whole
sense.
Avengers thing.
But the thing with me is like, if you haven't heard, Chris Evans is talking about, yeah, I'm laying down the shield,
Maybe.
maybe
Might be
at the end of
ploy to get more
Avengers.
money.
I think so. My opinion is
he might be doing. What's
but-
that dude from James Bond?
Daniel Craig.
Yeah, remember he said, "I would never, in my life, dignify myself to do such a role." 70 million a piece. Yeah, I'll do 2.
Yeah, I remember.
see.
But
But
did you hear?
regardless,
Didn't
he's
he
on his
turn
way
down the
out.
last one? Daniel Craig. Didn't he turn down?
No, he just right up for 2 more for $70 million a piece.
They're about to shoot.
Hold up.
He just
Wait,
wanted the
time
money.
out, time out,
He
time
just
out.
Jerry Maguire those fuckers. That's what he
Wait,
did.
I want you to hear what he just said. Daniel Craig signed on for 2 more James Bond films for $70 million a piece. Damn.
But who's excited for it?
Honestly,
Last
Daniel Craig has.
No.
Wait, hold on.
No,
It's
he
Casino
mean
Royale.
like how
Wait.
well you think
It's Casino
these-
Royale, Quantum of Solace,
Skyfall.
Skyfall,
Skyfall was the best. I think.
Spectre. Let's kick out Spectre.
Yes, please.
Let's
You can kick
Quantum
out
of Solace.
It was cool. It wasn't a
Quantum
bad
of
film.
Solace.
It just was like.
But Casino Royale and Skyfall,
Skyfall.
2 of the
Oh,
best
yeah.
James Bonds ever
Yeah.
made. My
Love
opinion.
it.
So I'm like, I'll give him a shot.
No, I
I'll give
want
him
to
one
see
more.
it, but man,
I'll give him 2 more shots.
Spectre left a
Dude, Spectre,
shit taste
yo,
in my
for the
mouth.
record,
Jesus
remember you were
Christ.
telling me how bad it was? It popped up for free on, I think, Prime,
Because
Amazon
it was
Prime.
so good.
Dude, I had to stop it. I haven't finished watching it. And that's rare for me. That doesn't
So
happen.
bad.
Usually, I'm able to sit down
and
to
then you
movies.
got Javier Bardem. He's like, what are y'all doing?
Oh, my
Who
God.
put this shit together?
Oh yeah, he's a villain, right?
No, in
No,
Skyfall.
I'm sorry. That's Skyfall.
He was a villain in
No, you
Skyfall.
had
Christoph Waltz.
yeah, Christoph Waltz is the villain, and
In,
they
They
Quantum.
butchered him, dude. I couldn't even see it. I couldn't even see it.
What?
It's really that bad. It really, really was.
I'm
that
gonna have
bad.
to watch it now just because they said that.
You know what? I mean, okay. Complete side note. When it comes to good bad movies, you know how like when you go deep into YouTube, sometimes you will find random like content creators. I found this really bad good one, which I'm such a fan of. I've actually been like really like binging on this guy. It's called Good Bad Flicks, right? And all he does is give summaries of all these old bad horror movies and just generically bad action movies. Then he gives a little behind the scenes stories about them and what his opinion about it is. But it's done really well. And I'm talking about, he busted out some stuff like oh my God, he did The Blob. He did like he did The Blob from the 1980s, not even 1950s.
Yeah.
He, The Fly 2, The Thing, like all the old classics. And I'm like, yo, I'm a fan of this guy. Like, sometimes you find those content creators where you're like, okay, this might be more entertaining than the movie itself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's really what he's made for. Because if you haven't seen any of these old horror movies, something's wrong with you guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. So sorry, complete random thought.
You straight away. Cap, leave it. You think he's gonna die and get brought back?
I think he's gonna die.
Will he get brought back?
No.
We all know he's dead.
No, I don't think he is. I think they're just gonna segue into either Winter Soldier or Falcon taking over the role. Period.
Which one do you guys want taking over?
My money's Bucky.
Neither.
I want Bucky.
You gotta be one of the
You don't
two.
want either?
It's not
No.
gonna be nobody else.
Because he's gonna be the White Wolf. You gotta leave him alone. He's gonna be in his own world, bro.
No, he's not. There's
No,
no
he's
way. There's no way
He's
they're gonna
not
do that.
staying in Wakanda.
Ouch.
Yeah.
I bet he is.
I don't think he is.
Next time we see him, he's gonna have dreadlocks.
I think.
I mean,
Word.
the wig is long enough.
Yeah, for real. His wig is long
Well, the
enough.
trailer already proved he has hair. Like he has regular hair. But the thing is, this is like, I think for the transition of what if you look at what Captain America has done with Bucky and for Bucky in the Captain America trilogy, compared to what Captain America has done for Falcon, Falcon's more like, all right, you're my boy. But what he's done for Bucky is
Yeah.
like, dude, you're the last survivor that I have from
No, I get
bygone days. I think Bucky's the natural transitional choice
I get it.
in the universe that was created.
Yeah, Falcon makes sense, but Bucky would actually survive.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless they do something to enhance him too, you know.
Well,
Maybe
remember,
they'll try something.
in Captain in
Remember, he might just go. Do the shit that we know
they
now
got Tony
and
Stark to hook him up. Plus now we have T'Challa's sister to hook him up too.
Who needs Tony Stark? You got Shuri.
Yeah. So it's like
Sure.
there's enough
But
people.
I'm saying, but that's why I'm saying maybe Bucky won't be, but Falcon maybe.
I think it's gonna end up with Falcon, but either or.
These are the two. It's
but
gonna be
my
one of
money,
two, unless they do like.
If somebody asked me where would you put your money on, my money would be on Winter Soldier.
They've been telegraphing Winter Soldier throughout the whole thing.
Yeah,
He's
if you
had
look,
the
if you
shield
really
up
look
the
at
entire
right,
thing.
if you look at the way the trilogy was, the Captain America trilogy, it really was more about a relationship that Captain America has with Bucky than with anybody else. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, Captain America: The Winter Soldier was solely based on the fact that Bucky was alive, and then Civil War was solely based that Bucky was framed.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like it really was. Like, it's really what Captain America and his relationship with Bucky. So for me, it's like if/when Captain America bites the bullet, you know, it's gonna be that. And if for anybody to kill Captain,
might be during that game of mercy.
oh, dude, it's gonna be during that. Like my opinion is like if there's anybody in the Marvel universe that has been created for the movies, the only person that will that will give a justifiable death to Captain America is Thanos. Period.
Yeah, because everybody else is like, no thanks.
Exactly. If you really look at it, if you really look at all the bad guys, all the good
All
guys,
the ones who's alive.
all the ones who's left alive, you know, the only one that even will give him a remote chance is gonna be Thanos. Period. You know, and that's my whole opinion on that. But yeah, like Cap, I think he did a great journey. Honestly,
Amazing.
honestly, if you really look, and I have to get before I start talking on my ass, Marvel, the whole Marvel universe, what they have done to superhero movies and how they treated superheroes generically for the big screen is an extremely commendable job because they did it in a very respectful way.
You try to say DC doesn't do shit?
I'm trying to say that they're the ones that started it for DC to try to say step up to the plate. So without Marvel, DC wouldn't be doing what they did. Like my opinion, I'm still a fan of Man of Steel. I'm still a fan of BVS. I'm not knocking them at all. But I think without Marvel, like nobody would have took
Had the
DC.
balls to be like, let's make a cinematic universe.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Exactly. And that's basically what it comes down to. So I can't be, like I love if you look at their casting choice for almost all their characters, it's damn near perfect. I can't picture anybody else being Doctor Strange. Who Benedict Cumberbatch?
I was like, I don't know about that
Who?
one.
I love that one. You didn't like that one?
It was okay.
I'm
It's
not-
cool.
I'm not-
Who would you have liked?
I'm not like in love with it, but I'm not like.
There's
I
all
thought he was damn
there's-
near
I think that's
perfect.
the only one that's like,
No, I mean the Scarlet Witch could have been a different choice. Quicksilver definitely a different choice.
yeah.
So I mean, like you
killed
just
him.
Yeah, but Quicksilver don't count because I'm like he came and went.
no,
Like,
he's still a
I
character.
just
Of
don't
all
He's
think
people
still in the
who
universe,
died.
bro.
Why
He's
did
still.
you kill him?
wait, out of curiosity, did you see when he first said you didn't see that coming and then he said it a second time? Did you read that guy's gonna die? Because I kind of had that when
No.
when I first saw
I
it.
was watching the movie and enjoying it.
Oh,
couldn't help
you were
it.
actually enjoying Age
You
of
were
Ultron?
actually enjoying a movie?
Jesus Christ.
I always enjoy movies. What are
I
you
don't know
talking about?
about Age of Ultron. Enjoy it. No, I'm kidding.
Age of Ultron
It
was
was
okay.
fine.
alright.
It was alright. It wasn't a great sequel.
Definitely not a great sequel.
But
So yeah, I mean that's pretty much that. So Cap, good luck. We're with you. Saw that coming a mile away.
X-Men Dark Phoenix due out later this year.
Dude.
Is now coming out February 2019.
Saw that coming a mile
Now,
away.
is it because of like conflicts? Because I know they already started to shoot Game of Thrones. So
No,
is it because,
they're
is it-
done.
They're
They're
done.
done with
I
Dark
think it's
Phoenix.
I think it's editing
New
and post.
Mutants is.
Well, usually when they
being
stop it
reshot.
or push it back, it's because they have to do reshoots.
No, I know New Mutants is under a slew of reshoots because they finished it and it was
Dude,
like,
Because they hired Jack,
New Mutants, they
Zack
need to do a
Snyder?
whole new movie, dude.
pretty much.
New movie.
You think so?
I
That-
you-
I
I mean,
don't think
it can't be worse
I'm
than
not saying-
Justice League.
no, you know
I
what?
still ain't see Justice League.
You
so
know what?
I don't
I'll
think
be
that's
dead
bad.
honest with you. When it comes to
I just don't think they've. Sorry to cut you off. I don't think that they've. I think they will. I don't think they have to. I think based off whatever test thing, they think that it's gonna take time. to just
that's
do
the
a-
thing. Like the thing with New Mutants is zero interest was created when they released the trailer.
Yeah.
Zero.
It was just like
Matter of fact, it was so the trailer drew so much negative stuff about it that I know like any studio would be like in emergency like meetings trying to figure out what the hell to do because it generated nothing. It did nothing for me. It didn't make me want to see the trailer again. I saw it once. You know what I mean? And that's the major problem that it has. Is like when they try to incorporate a mutant story but the trailer says it's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a little
explain that to me.
yeah.
You have to explain that in a
They-
very good
they
way.
At least did it in the second trailer, but they're like, you know what, fuck it all.
Yeah, it's really really bad. Like matter of fact, we were talking about a good horror trailer. Was it last week when we were talking about The Quiet Place?
Yeah, last episode.
Yeah, it was last episode, right? Now,
Both
now-
the trailers are on point. I'll tell you
right.
right now.
But now imagine if you got a trailer for Quiet Place, but it made it seem like a superhero movie or super villain movie. It just seems so out of place that it just doesn't look right to you. You get what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, one thing is a trailer, and then one thing is actually seeing it. Because we've seen trailers that have guided us in the wrong direction. Like when I saw Suicide Squad, the trailer looked like ass. The movie was even bigger ass. But there's trailers that tend to think, oh, this is going to be a good movie. And then you go there and you're like,
A
the
lot
best
of
part of the
trailers are like
movie was in the trailer.
A lot of
And
trailers.
I could
are
have
like
just
that.
watched the trailer and not even the movie.
Freaking wasn't Suicide Squad edited by a trailer company?
Probably.
Like the
Well, I
movie.
mean, that explains why the movie is the
Really?
way it is,
I would-
Isn't
probably.
that Kevin Hart
That-
shit that I ran out
That's,
last?
that's
It
probably
would-
why the movie looks the way it does. Then.
I was about to say, well, that explains a lot.
Well, it says a lot.
This is that
Thanks
shit
so
I ran
much.
about last episode. Like,
But yeah, I mean, they're reshooting. If they're gonna be doing reshoots for New Mutants, it makes sense. If they're doing and when going to the Dark Phoenix saga, the X-Men Dark Phoenix thing, there's no way. I've always said this about the Dark Phoenix: is you cannot make a Dark Phoenix movie and make it a 1-2 hour movie.
No,
Dark Phoenix needs to be its own damn trilogy.
from what I understand, it's supposed to be like secretly a two-parter.
Okay, 2-part I'll even give a chance to,
I'm
but
not
damn,
sure
they
if
need to do a good
generated
job.
enough. Well, they haven't dropped the trailer, so it's like
Doesn't it take place in the 80s or 90s? 90s now, right?
90s.
Look, because the person they cast, she's a super young Jean Grey, like super young, right?
Yeah, but
I'm
at the
like,
same-
why
but-
are we going here so early?
Yeah,
But-
why
but
we even? Yeah, because she doesn't even hit her powers until later on.
But then here's the other problem, right? The other
We're
problem
gonna
is,
age her or what?
well, that's the thing. They haven't aged nobody. If you really think
She
about
needs to
it,
age for this. So I
Look,
can take this next role.
remember something. Part 1 takes place during the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1963.
Oh, the first class. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's 1963, and the last one took place in 1980 something, right? That's a span of almost 30 years, and everybody looks exactly the damn same.
They
Well,
cut-
mutants
they cut
age
Charles
slower.
Get
That's
the
what.
hell out of here with that BS.
That's
right
true,
there,
though.
man.
That is true. Like,
Get
you-
the hell out of here.
how you a comic fan don't even know that? I'm about to revolt. I'm about to take away your Joker's
That's-
Child card right now. Give
he
me that
said the
shit right now.
Joker's
Give me
Child
the
card.
goddamn card right now.
If anybody doesn't know, that's actually a local comic book store.
In
or
Fair Lawn.
yeah, in
Support
Fair
your
Lawn, New
local
Jersey.
comic book stores.
Oh, yeah, but yeah, but
Take
but,
your card
but
right
you get
now.
my point. It's like that doesn't. It doesn't.
I already gave you the explanation they're gonna give
For
you.
continuity reasons, I
The
think they
whole
messed up.
X universe doesn't make sense.
Remember
It
what I've
never
said.
Did.
Remember what I said. I was like, y'all need to stop with trying to refresh it and just dead it right there and start from year one and start from the scratch. Because the X-Men universe has so many great storylines and they're destroying all of them.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep.
You know, they could have had a great Age of Apocalypse trilogy. They could have had a great Phalanx Covenant trilogy. They could have had the House of M trilogy. Amazing storylines.
They got
You know?
nothing but storyline.
Yeah, and they don't do anything with them. I'm like, y'all need to stop and start from the beginning. Stop trying to make it work. You're just digging a bigger hole for yourselves, and that's I've been saying that from day one. Remember what I said? I said before. I'll say it again. The only X-Men movie I have ever watched was the very first one in the movie theaters. After that, I was like, I'm not wasting my money because I know where it's going. And
That
damn it,
first one
I was right. Honestly, the best to this day, I think the best
X2.
X-Men scene was the opening White House attack scene with Nightcrawler and X2.
X2. But X2, I think, was the overall best X-Men movie.
But think about what you just said. You're talking about a movie that came out in 2001, I think, something like that. But
Maybe
you,
2.
yeah, but you see what I'm saying? That's
Because it was X2. So it came out on 2. No, I'm just-
well, probably I don't know, but they definitely need to stop. Bryan Singer needs to stop.
I think he's out. But I don't know.
Bryan Singer needs to just start making back to film noir dramas and stick with that. Maybe.
Speaking of prequels,
03, actually.
Krypton.
Thank you.
What'd you think?
I haven't seen it yet. Only person that saw it was him.
Right, tell us
Yeah,
everything.
you
Spoil
guys
it
know
off for us.
gay.
What you think so far?
I literally just watched it before. It was actually free on Xbox. So I'm like, all right, bet. I was going to see if there's a sci-fi app. So I enjoyed it. I mean, they put a few things in the trailer. Already got a few theories of where they're going. I can't really say anything. They do a good job of explaining life on Krypton back then, because this is his grandfather. So the look is more or less the same, but as far as dynamics of the way things are, you still have a long way to go before you get to the end of Krypton, because these motherfuckers is at the point. Well, not them, but the new hierarchy is to the point where it's why are we exploring space? We're the only ones here. What?
Oh my
So
god!
they haven't even set colonies or anything. yet.
No, this is before that.
Oh,
Or
dude,
if it
so they're
is, or if this
So they
is,
really age slowly. You thought
Or-
X-Men age slowly. These
Dude.
motherfuckers age even slower.
or if it is, this is after and they gave up on it.
Oh, okay.
Hard to tell. They're we haven't heard word back. Nobody out there. It's we've sent a signal. We're dying out here.
Oh
But
my
I
God.
enjoyed it. I'm definitely intrigued, and if I can if I can see if Xbox has a sci-fi app. If not, I'll just download it on my phone. I'm definitely gonna watch, keep up with the series. It's not even. I don't think it's that long. Maybe it's 10, 13 episodes for season 1.
Yeah, season 2 is Wednesday night, right? On Sci-Fi.
I think Wednesday
Wednesday
night.
night, yeah.
So it comes on. So it looks good. Adam Strange. They showed. Trying to think. Did they show anything that was interesting?
Well, right now they're just setting up the plot points.
I mean, they showed a lot of interesting things. They kind of let you know the groundwork. The House of L's disgraced at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
Where
Really?
they have no more stature. You're
did they say why or no?
yeah.
You gotta watch it, bro. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
tell
I
you
mean,
nothing.
I could tell you it all, but I didn't
yeah.
know. So.
You know me so well, Rod.
So they start off with with his grandfather, and he's
Okay.
a boy, and then you see what happens, and you move, and blah blah blah. So looks good. I'm interested. I already have a theory. You ever heard of the god Rao in Krypton lore?
RAOU?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's there. he's the new hierarchy.
Oh, really?
Krypton.
Okay, don't say nothing.
So
All right, that's enough for me.
it's also interesting because for those 15 of us that watch Supergirl, I'm kidding.
Oh,
It's only
15.
12.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
It's a tough show to.
It's like he went right, you went
It's
left,
like
man.
it's like Shield season 1 and 2. It's definitely gotten better, but they actually dive into the Rouse stuff in Supergirl, so it's interesting to see that here. So like,
Nice.
Here's an interesting one. I know this is left field, but Robert Downey Jr. just threw this up on 40 minutes ago. The cast for his new movie, Voyage of Dr. Dolittle. Look at this. Emma Thompson, Rami Malek, Craig Robinson. We got Octavia Spencer, Tom Holland, Marion Cotillard, whatever.
Cool.
Ray Fiennes,
Marion
John Cena, and Selena Gomez. They're all playing animals.
they're all playing animals.
They're all voicing all the animals, and the only human is Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, but what's up with Sherlock 3 though?
Yo, am I the only one that actually wants to see that?
No,
Yeah,
I don't want to see it.
What?
You like the second one?
No, I'm not a big fan of him in Sherlock. He's too Robert Downey Jr. You know what? He's too
No. I think
he's too Stark. He's too Stark for me. If you look at it, he's too Starky
In a
for
way.
me.
Wait, out of curiosity,
there.
hold on.
It's too
I want
Stark
to ask you
for
this question now.
Stark?
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's the guy from the
no,
comic
no,
books?
no,
He's
not
Iron
that,
Man?
not that.
Okay.
Is it him or is it Guy Ritchie? Because he's a very polarizing director.
No, I think it's. I mean, it's whoever. It's before. If Guy Ritchie's telling him to act like that, then Guy Ritchie. If that's his choice as an actor, then it's too Starky. Like
Okay, I just want to ask because Guy Ritchie is one of those directors that is very. You either love him.
Yeah.
I love his movies.
So I
It's
saw
just-
like when I was at the hotel last snowstorm. I saw like half of the King Arthur movie. I'm like, I can see why people didn't like this.
It was very Guy Ritchie, wasn't it?
It was probably the most Guy Ritchie film that Guy Ritchie has ever done. I'm like, you got to pull back a little bit on the Guy Ritchie.
Yeah,
part.
okay, see, yeah, that's the thing about Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie does his Guy Ritchie movies, kind of like how Michael Bay does Michael Bay movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could tell the style immediately. Like
Yeah.
you could tell when Quentin Tarantino touches a film. You know what I mean? Guy Ritchie's that kind of director where he's like, I thought it was gonna be that, but it's just more Robert Downey Jr. just trying to do him, huh? All right, well, okay, well, yeah. Remember, I think we said this before. Robert Downey Jr. is like, dude, he's like the kind of actor that's like, I'm just gonna play myself and y'all gonna pay me for it.
I mean,
It worked
in
well.
Tropic
It works
Thunder-
well for him.
In
I'm not-
Tropic Thunder, he was acting.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder. I loved him in Tropic Thunder.
For the record, Tropic Thunder.
What do you
is-
mean, you people?
What do you mean
That's-
you? And then the other guy was like, "What do you mean? What
Nah,
do you mean, you people?"
Let's take it to the racist corner for a minute.
Racist quarter.
What do you feel? Do you feel he was blackfacing in that? Because I've talked to some people like, oh, he was playing blackface.
You gotta
It's
watch
so
the
racist.
movie. Did they watch
Um,
the movie?
I don't know if they did.
I don't think
They
they
were
did.
just
I think-
defending that. I would never watch that. He was being blackface. I'm
Exactly.
like,
I don't think they watched it because if you watch the movie, you'll see like it's
You see how heavily satire they
yeah,
made.
but it's definitely layers to it because it's like they're talking about people who do that while poking fun at it themselves
Wait,
in the movie.
okay, just complete randomness, right? And for
I love
anybody who has seen
I
Tropic
loved it
Thunder,
too.
A friend of mine thought the same way,
Really?
and he watched it. And he's like, I get it.
okay,
Okay, 'cause
for the
I've
record,
got into arguments about that.
Wait, we gotta talk about Tropic Thunder for a second.
and I don't
because
know
it's
how to
kinda-
defend it.
pretty
Like,
No, no,
fucking
no. No, it's not defending. Listen to this one. In the movie, one of the big lines that Robert Downey Jr. has said in that movie is,
Which one?
"I don't break out of character until the DVD commentaries." Remember that?
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't break out of character until DVD commentaries." Guess what? Get the DVD. He doesn't break character until the
Oh,
end of the DVD
shit.
commentary.
I need to watch
Yo,
that.
it's insane.
Oh, nice.
He really did it. And you're like, you son of a
I
bitch.
need
That's
to
very
watch
cool.
it. It's fucking
I'm
good.
like,
Yo,
Yeah, watch that too.
in the DVD, he actually stays in character until the end of the DVD commentaries. Is the best.
It's a method actor right there. But again, that goes back to Robert T. He's an actor. He can act. But that's what I'm saying. Maybe Sherlock Holmes was
Matter of
asked
fact,
to
Maybe
do
matter of
that's
that.
what
fact,
they wanted
one
to
of
do.
my
Yeah.
favorite dramas of all time is still Chaplin. Robert Downey Jr.'s early movie from
Oh, yeah, yeah.
1992.
Chapman, what's that about?
It was
He played
the
Charlie
biography
Chaplin.
of Charlie Chaplin. Come on, man. It was
Did they actually
amazing.
show him losing the Chaplin contest in the movie? I never saw it.
No, they didn't show that part.
That's crazy.
That's actually another one of the
That's
biggest.
the wildest shit ever.
Okay, if you don't know, Charlie Chaplin entered a Charlie Chaplin lookalike contest and he got like third place. It was something really dumb like
In
that.
real life, it's like
In real life, he's like, but I can't. Like, don't matter. You don't look like him. But I am
The
him.
more you know.
Now you know. Yeah, just weird random facts. But yeah, I agree. If you haven't seen Tropic Thunder, when it comes to the whole blackface thing, the only way you can understand why I personally feel, or why a lot of people feel it wasn't a blackface thing, is you have to see that damn movie
Yeah.
because they made it so heavily
Yeah.
of a satire.
Yeah, because he was so at the end of the movie he was so confused because he's playing all these roles. He's like, "What happened? Is that thing gonna eat you, baby?" He's like, "Boat your brakes, kid. That shit ain't funny."
That shit really happened.
That thing really happened. I was like,
Yo, it was bad. It was so bad.
Singing.
It was so good, but it was matter of fact.
And I never even thought of it being blackface until somebody like argued about it.
Me neither.
I didn't think of it either, but I'm like,
But you
watch
know
it, I'm
what?
like,
That movie, if I remember right, Robert Downey Jr. got nominated for an Academy for that.
really?
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't know.
He didn't win,
While,
but
while Carlos looks it up,
yeah,
let's
go.
talk about. Was this first comic book you ever read? Rod, what was yours? Comic book, not Playboy.
I never. Who reads Playboys?
I'll do the articles, bro. They're funny jokes.
You're right. First comic book I've ever read was I was in 5th grade. A classmate of mine who also drew, because I was an artist at the time. He put me on the comic books. His name was Freddie. I think Cruz. I can't remember his last name.
Freddie Cruz.
He was in college. He was in 5th grade, school 26. Met him, hung out, transferred out. Never seen him since. Whatever case, he put me on the comic book. I don't remember the name, but he actually gave it to me. It was Jim Lee Punisher, where I don't remember, but on the cover it's like, "Stop or I'll kill this kid," and then Punisher's like, "I don't care, my kid's already dead."
Wow.
Speaks
Yeah, this
boldly
sounds like,
to him.
it sounds like Jim Lee. Wow. Mine was DC, and it wasn't the death of Superman. It was before that.
Yeah, I'm like,
I'm gonna say it has to be way before because that's what
like, I
man
know
was
you
like.
did
It was before
Well,
Watchmen. Hold on, I'm thinking.
That's the Superman is 90, so that's
yeah,
not.
it was
bad.
before Watchmen. I want to say Batman Year One, I think, because it was somewhere in the 80s. It was definitely somewhere in the 80s, and it was definitely a DC. It was either Batman or Superman, because it was either Superman, one of the Action Comics, like I think Crisis at Hand or something, or Year One.
Was it Panic in the Sky?
Wow, you could.
That was my
Panic
first-
in the Sky was a Brainiac story.
That
I
was
remember
my
that
first
one.
DC comic book ever. Panic in the Sky.
That was actually a good way to start.
Hold on, was that before?
It was before.
Before the death, right?
Yeah, it was before
I
that.
got the death.
That was like 2 years before.
Okay, yeah.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. Wow. He just went old school on that. That was I remember
I remember things.
Batman Year One was very interesting. I think to say the least. Wow. Yeah. He got nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role 2009 for Tropic Thunder.
Yep.
Damn.
Like, I mean, if you really look at the role, yes, it definitely earned it. Omar, Omar, you were big into comic books when you were young or no?
Yeah, my first
read
comic book
it.
was X Men.
Really?
I got
Why
into
not?
X Men.
You
That was
know
the first one I read.
I got into X-Men after.
Which run?
Do you remember?
Who
It was
Remember
most
the
likely-
cover on the magazine or on the comic book was Wolverine with his claws out and the old brown and yellow uniforms.
shit.
Yeah.
Wow, the brown and yellow one.
It's like
and yellow.
it's like that costume never exists.
No.
If you never.
Oh yeah, you
watched-
guys don't remember that one?
No, I remember it, but
Yeah.
if you weren't around then.
Oh, yeah,
you'd be
you
like,
don't- you
"Oh, I
don't
know
remember."
blue and yellow. What are you talking about?
The,
Hey,
the
look,
brown
no,
and yellow. Yeah, that
It
was.
was-
first.
2 shades of shit color.
Like
Yeah.
and then he had everybody else behind him. He was just on the cover, brown and yellow. Yeah.
Was he like this? No.
No,
That's
no.
not-
It wasn't Jim Lee crazy muscled out era.
No.
No.
I think one of the
that's
mo-
X-Men 1 with
one.
everybody behind him.
I remember. Was it the Phalanx Covenant? Was that the? Do you remember the story where Wolverine gets his adamantium ripped off of him?
Fatal Attraction.
It was
Yeah.
Fatal Attraction.
Yep.
Magneto, right?
That was,
By
yeah,
Magneto,
that
That
was
was
for
the-
me one of the most
had
painful
holograms.
screens. Like, you know how they have the frames of the comic books?
Yeah.
That frame for me is one of the most painful because I remember clearly turning that page and just cringing
He's
because
like,
I was like,
"Wow, he did it."
I was like, like I felt that one. Like that was horrible, dude. Like if you don't know, like Magneto literally ripped the adamantium off of his body
He ripped it throughout
through his pores. It was bad. That was horrible.
That was during
dude.
that bone claw era.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was horrible.
Yeah.
That was
He went back to the old claws.
yeah. It was one of those where you're like, holy crap, did that actually happen?
Speaking of Wolverine, you think Wolverine was better with or without an origin?
Without. I think Wolverine was like the Joker. Where you don't
I
need
think
the
yeah.
story.
I think. I mean, I enjoyed the origin. I like that trilogy when it came out. I loved it, but I believe it killed who he was as a character because one, him and Sabretooth there's a connection between that goes way back beyond anybody before
Right.
time. They age like nobody's business.
Right.
So like for you to find out that it happened like that, it almost kind of took away from the mystique of who is this guy who's lived so long and seen everybody who's
Yeah.
killed.
Right.
I think for me it took away a little
was
bit. I
kind
loved
of-
it though, but it took away.
Yeah, I agree. I think like it for me it didn't hurt or help, but it was like I think it just would have been better.
I think-
because you could have him go back further in time
Right.
rather than he's born here.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think.
exactly.
I think.
Yeah, the Apocalypse was like, oh, you still around too? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I
That'd
think
have been
I would have liked it if they kept it like King from Kung Fu. Just walk the earth. You don't need to know anything
yeah,
more about
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Just
yeah.
just
I mean, and they still
would-
can because it could be a different.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, they could
different
always
timeline, different
retcon it.
universe.
They
Yeah,
could
they
always
did a lot of
retcon
weird
it.
shit. Like
But
he
for
just
me-
came back to life. Old Man Logan is in the current universe. It does
Yeah,
some
it's all
weird
over the
shit
place.
now.
But for
Yeah.
me, my opinion is like Wolverine. He did not need an origin. Sometimes, like the Joker. Sometimes you just don't need an origin.
Well, he still doesn't have one.
Right.
They're peeking at it. They're chipping at it without saying voila.
Right. Remember, there's been so many different origins of the Joker. It's like, all right, whatever. Like
Yeah.
you just don't know no more. I think they should have kept Logan like that,
Like,
and that would have
yeah.
been great for it because Logan is that kind of hero where he doesn't want to be a hero. He's just forced into the position because he still has a sense of good.
Because of his ability,
Right.
And what his specialty is,
Right. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? And
or at least once upon a time.
right. And now it's like, I don't even know. Is it Wolverine? Only Old Man Logan is on in the Marvel Universe now, isn't he? It's just Old Man Logan and one of the X's.
X-23.
Yeah, 23. That's it.
Laura,
Yeah,
Laura
whatever.
grown up. I'm not sure what they're doing recently. I know they just did another Marvel thing called Fresh Start, where they kind of
Starting it again.
doing. I don't keep up with this stuff. This one just waiting for the trade paperbacks for favorite story, interesting stories like Metal and Doomsday Clock, and to see what's going on.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Another Marvel really interests me heavily in regards to comics, but
What?
lately, but you know that could change.
I've been interested in what DC's been doing. I know Mike has been keeping me up to date because I haven't had a chance to, but it's always been fun. I don't know, like DC has been incorporating the Watchmen into the universe, and they've
Doomsday
been doing
Clock.
a great job of it.
Mm.
Great job of it. So I'm a fan.
Rorschach eating Batman's pancakes. That's funny.
Wow. I'm just gonna read this right now. Tech thing. Mozilla launches a Facebook container extension for its Firefox browser. It isolates the Facebook identity of users from rest of their web activity.
But who uses Firefox?
All three people are going to be very
Good.
entertained by
Okay.
this.
Nah,
Firefox is like the number
Firefox
3.
is really, really good, but
If you ever get it to work right. I'm just.
I
tried
remember when Firefox was
trying.
great, and then Chrome came out, and I was like, my eyes have been opened to the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah, pretty much.
Speaking of rest in peace,
Uh huh.
Toys R Us sales are going. You said it's only 30% though.
Yeah, I was pissed as hell.
Man, I'm
Okay,
expecting
like,
100.
what the fuck? And that line was crazy. My wife was about to pick up stuff. I'm like, yo, that line is at the back of the store. They got one guy directing. She was like, let's go.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
So by the time
I'm not going.
You ain't
there.
gonna get that
prices
PlayStation
go,
4.
the percentage,
There's gonna be
no,
nothing.
because fucking
That was the first time they went out.
fucking, Xbox One X 5% off.
Dude, first thing.
5% off.
Dude, first
Fuck, I
thing.
got eBay for 20%
Yeah,
off.
first thing to go out is gonna be all the diapers and the milk at 30% off. That's a great deal.
That's Babies R Us though.
Yeah, well they're
They're
going out too.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the first thing to go. After that,
Stripper bowls.
there you go, all the way in the back.
But you know what though? Honestly, if you're a businessman, this is the perfect time for you if you're gonna open a store or anything. Because once they're done selling the inventory, they're gonna start selling the shelves. And I'm
Yep.
not even joking.
The
They're gonna
fixtures.
sell
Yeah.
the shelves,
Yep.
the counters, the fucking registers,
Everything
everything that is not part of the building, even the fucking security cameras. So
Yep.
if you're looking to upgrade or you're opening up a store or you have a warehouse and you need shelves,
Check out your
check
local
out Toys R Us.
Babies
Once
R
they're
Us.
done with everything, they're selling everything else.
Yep. It's
So-
always been interesting. I've actually gone to those. Matter of fact, do you remember my glass table, the 3-tier one? It was from Mandy's.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the black chair over there,
Mhm.
that's also from Mandy's. It was on display.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And I was like, give me that. They were like, how
They'll
much? I was
sell-
like, $5. They were like,
Dude, they'll
I'll take
sell
it.
everything they fucking don't need.
Yep. They sell everything that they possibly can. Keep an eye out
Pallet
for
jacks. They'll sell the fucking pallet jacks if you need one.
this.
I
Really?
saw something
Didn't
fucking
Yo,
When they tell
I
me
don't
to-
even
when
have
they-
a use for one, but I'm like having a pallet jack just
When
in
they
case for
say
one day.
liquidation of everything, every
Everything.
asset, they mean everything.
Out of curiosity, right? Like, what do you guys feel about Toys R Us leaving? I know we haven't really talked much about it, but
we talked
I mean,
about
it's a
it
big
last
chunk of my childhood.
I mean, it is a chunk of my childhood and growing up go into Toys R Us for like your Christmas gift or whatever. At the same time, though, they didn't do anything to innovate. I mean, it's basically a store that sold toys.
Yeah.
And then you should have paid attention. One of the most classic and loved stores, FAO Shorts. Like that was like what 10 years ago or whatever when they closed their doors.
A little bit less than that. I think it was like no, I was with Sylvia, so I want to say like maybe 7 years ago.
Yeah. So
Still.
Yeah.
and they were big in Manhattan. And like that's where they did Home Alone.
Yep.
Or
No,
two?
Big.
Big.
The famous
No,
piano
but Home
dancing
Alone
scene.
2 was there too, right?
Was he? I
When
think
he's
he
in New
was.
York
Yeah,
City.
he was,
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
again,
forgot
big.
what part, but
It was-
I forgot what
I think it's
part.
cosplay.
Oh,
That's
nice.
a good cosplay.
But
Go back there.
if you actually pay attention to the fall of that store, that should have kind of gave you a segue to where if Toys R Us didn't get their shit together, where they were going, and they didn't get their shit together, and they ended up in the same place.
Yeah,
Alright.
I actually read somewhere that KB was coming back. I'm like,
KB Stores?
Why?
not like coming back like, oh, we're back, but kind of fill the void. I'm like, no,
Look,
just go back into whatever hole you crawled.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of with you. It's like, listen, what they need to do is they need to learn from what this generation is looking for. I mean, honestly, I could go on Amazon on my phone right now and find a great toy and have it delivered to my house.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, how can you compete with that kind of like flexibility?
Yeah, because you can't be like, oh, but you can't touch your feelings. Nobody gives a shit. They
Matter of-
want a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, I could look at a
Especially
great
for
review.
toys, because toys are things that you're eventually gonna throw out, or your kids are gonna grow out of.
Yeah.
So if they break, they break. They don't. It's not like you're building something here. Like
Yeah,
you don't
the
need it. If it goes away, it goes
21st
away.
century consumer market is no longer relying solely on brick and mortar stores.
Well, it's not even
That's
that.
what it comes down to it.
And I think it's also part of the kind of the brainwashing conspiracy that I've had for a long time, where we used to be a country that built their own things, and they built shit that would last.
Yeah, those
Right.
days.
Now most of our shit's built overseas. Not to say anything about China that they can't build shit that lasts, but their shit, it's meant to be throwaway stuff where it's built so cheaply that if it breaks, it's almost okay because you can get something as cheap again, and then not worry about it instead of having to send it for repair. That's why that's a growing trend now where a lot of companies are fighting other companies for void of contract or void of warranty because they want to be able to fix things that other companies aren't willing to fix, and they're just telling you, hey, you know what, just upgrade or get this. I don't want to. I want to make sure this works again. There's a lot of cities are kind of building these little groups where if you have something that doesn't work, you can come in and they'll help you together workshop or fix a product that's not working anymore, so you don't have to go out and buy a new one. Just fix it.
That's true.
And honestly, I think that's a trend I should take
There's
off.
a name for that. There's a name for products that are meant to last a certain amount of time, and I'm trying to remember what was the name of it.
Apple?
No.
Oh, wait, no, that wasn't it. My bad.
Coming from the Apple fanboy, ladies and gentlemen.
Look,
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, I used to have a computer that lasted like 9 years, and now every computer lasts like 3. And I'm like,
Yeah,
yo,
like TVs now
fuck
only
out of
last
it.
maybe 5 years at best.
exactly.
You know what I mean?
And but that's again back to the thing. We used to have an industry where you make things to last, things of quality. Now you make things to last up until the warranty, and so they can get a new one.
Yep.
And that's it. So that's part of
There's an actual name for
Exactly.
that. Look it up, but there's an actual name for that.
capitalism.
No, not capitalism.
No.
There's an actual name for what you're
Those
talking
are
about.
items. I know
Yeah.
you're talking about, yeah.
But yeah, so it sucks, but it is what it is.
It is. It is.
I think we're pretty much wrapped, right?
Yeah, all show notes have been checked off.
Wiped off. So in that case, I guess we're gonna call it a day. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Thank you for tuning in to the Tech Guy Some Guy podcast. My name is Carlos,
Rod.
Omar,
and I guess we'll talk to y'all next week. Talk to you later.
take care.